I'm Bill Brown. I am running for Angelina County Commissioner Precinct 4. Born and raised in Angelina County. Went to school and graduated from Diboll High School. Attended University of Alabama. My wife Sharon and I have been married for 31 years. We have 2 boys, one 27. He's married to have a granddaughter now, so that's really exciting. I've had 2 boys. I have a younger son who attends East Texas Baptist University. The reason I'm up here and the reason I'm running is because I feel like I really have the experience to take care of this. I've served 16 years on the City Council of Diboll, 11 years as councilman, 5 years as mayor. A lot of government experience, a lot of budgeting experience. Been a business owner for years. Of course, you know, when you're on the council in Diboll, there is no pay, so you have to have another job. So anyway, got a lot of years of business experience, budgeting. I've managed a multi-million-dollar company before, so I know how to stay in budgets. I know how to keep our taxes as low as possible. I know how to get every dollar you can out of everything. I'm a taxpayer just like you are, and my thought is, I don't want to pay any more taxes than I have to either. But we want to give the best service available to you. I want to serve the people. I've always enjoyed doing that. I've been a youth minister. I've done all kinds of stuff and served the community. I even played Santa Claus for the senior citizens for about 15 years in Diboll. So anyway, it's just the community service is in my blood. I love doing it. I love serving, and I think I'm very well qualified for the position.
Good evening. Thank you, everybody for being here. I'm Bobby Cheshire, your conservative candidate for Commissioner Precinct 4. I'm a lifelong resident of Diboll, Texas. I'm married to my best friend and supportive wife, Chandler, for 12 years. We have 4 beautiful children and have recently been blessed with the custody of our 5-year-old niece. My mother's family settled in Angelina County back in 1831 on land granted from Stephen F. Austin in the Bald Hill community. Angelina County has always had a very special place near and dear to my family, and this is why I want to give back to our community through service to the people. I have 9 years of experience as a police officer, 15 years of experience as a business owner, 3 years of experience in restaurant management. This background provides me a unique insight that I feel is necessary in the office of the commissioner and by someone with a conservative value that you deserve from an elected official. I believe in a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The only campaign promise that I've made that I intend to hold government accountable to the people. I have not, and I will not, be accepting campaign donations, whether monetary or materialistic, for this commissioner's race. I do not want to be indebted to a campaign donor for any favor that they may want from the elected officials. Those that I want to be held accountable by are the taxpayers and the voters. I will use proven common sense business management practices when in office that have proved nothing less than successful for me. I'm a candidate in the Precinct 4 race.
Go ahead and finish your sentence.
I pledge to the voters my life, my fortune, however small it may be, and my honor, that I will implement common sense business management practices, strong leadership in our county government when elected to represent you as Commissioner of Precinct 4. May God bless you, and may God bless Angelina County.
Hi, I'm Scott Cooper, County Commissioner Precinct 4, and I'm running for re-election for the position. I'd like to say thank you all for coming out tonight, because without you here learning about us, then it's difficult to make a good decision, and I hope that we as the candidates present the information that you need to make a wise choice. I'd also like to thank my wife who's out there sitting beside me every step of the way. As I said, I'm running for re-election. This is my first term, and I hope I've done a good enough job. Some of the things I've accomplished in my first term is, one of my big goals is improving the relationships between the County Commissioner Precinct 4 and the cities and the other elected officials' positions. For a long time, everybody was doing just their own little thing in their own little world. And it's been mentioned before that we are working together to try to build Angelina County, and that's something that I've worked very hard for in my first term. I worked with Sheriff's Department and working with their budget and other projects with the cities of Burke and Zavala and road building projects and interlocal agreements to help them further their goals and needs, because small cities need help. And we as the commissioners have the equipment to help them out. So it's a team effort, and that's what I've been trying to do for the past 3 or 4 years. Continuing that on in the future, one of the things I'm planning to do is work together with all the departments to figure out where we're going to go in the next 5 to 10 years. We need a plan, we need a direction. It's hard to get someplace if you don't have a goal and a way to get there. So working together with the other elected officials, the cities, the citizens, and the other commissioners and the judge to set that direction and what we need to accomplish so that we can get there. Of course, one of my personal goals in the precinct, I had a challenge to overcome, which was the condition of our equipment. Road equipment wears out, and I had to accomplish that goal before I could step to my next section of goals, is bring in new equipment to use new technologies so that we can improve our roads more cost effectively. Thank you.
Okay, the first question will start with you, Mr. Cheshire, and it is, why are you uniquely qualified for the position you are seeking?
Yes, I'm the only candidate in the race that holds a Class A CDL. This is a vital license to be utilized to operate county equipment. In my commercial trucking experience, there's not a piece of county equipment that I haven't owned or operated at some point in time in my career. And I have the working knowledge to put that skill to good use for the county to better serve the county with saving our tax dollars.
And next, the question is to you, Mr. Cooper.
I believe 3 years so far as county commissioner qualifies me quite well for the job. However, some of the background that I have that brought to the position, education experience. Both my parents were teachers, so I learned about education. I spent 18 years in television news, covering the news all around East Texas, so that I learned about what the people need, what they want, the differences in the different communities, and how you have to balance the needs of one community to the needs of another. I grew up with a construction background. In high school and college, I worked my way through school in construction, so I have a construction background. It's the culmination of years of experience in multiple different facets that I bring those to the table. Working with budgets, $1.2 million budget for Precinct 4, making sure we don't overspend, that everything's used wisely, budgeting experience, I think, and dealing with the people. The biggest skill is problem solving. I listen to people, listen to what's going on, try to find a solution, coordinate with other people to try to solve the problems that are out there. So that's a skill set that I think I bring that is much needed in the Commissioner's Court.
And to you, Mr. Brown.
Well, as I said earlier, I've spent 16 years on the Diamond City Council. We had a $5.3 million budget that we had to take care of. We did a lot of time working on that, trying to get the people the services they need while keeping our taxes low, and we've done a good job at that. The other qualification, I think, is a business experience. I've dealt with multi-million-dollar budgets before. You have to, as a business owner, everybody knows this business, you've got to come within budget. If you don't make any money, there's no sense being in business. So we have to treat this the same way the county. We have to try to squeeze everything we can out of every tax dollar that we can. Like I said, don't want to spend any more tax dollars than we have to. Last of all is, I spent a lot of years supervising crews, whether it be subcontractors, employees, so forth and so on, all over the state of Texas. So the thing about it is, you have to have a working relationship with your crews. They have to know a direction that you need to go in, and I believe I can give that direction to them and take care of our road needs that desperately need taken care of right now.
And the next question will start with you, Mr. Cooper, and it is, if you were to look at the budget and examine the items, what do you think needs to be addressed there? It's a form of the question of what needs to be cut and what needs to be added to.
That's a very good question. Actually, when having dealt with the budget for the past 3 years, there's very little we can cut anymore. The county has been on a program of cutting and not spending for over a decade. So as per the wishes of the citizens of Angelina County, well, we have reached a point where we're going to have to look at what we can do with what's left. It's going to be once again, that teamwork effort. We're going to have to all sit down and say, okay, where are we today? Where do we need to be tomorrow? And how are we going to get there most cost effectively? There's no one answer that can solve that problem. You can't cut one line item here. You can't cut one position there. It's an overall evaluation of every department and all the costs. It's a long-term plan. You have to figure out today, like I said, where you need to be tomorrow, and then you have to bring the citizens and the communities in together to get them to understand that it's not a one fixed thing. It is a long-term plan, and if you implement it in a long term, then each step will be much easier to develop. You just can't go say, well, today we're going to cut 4 people out of this office and that'll solve our budget issues. That'll never work. If you go in with that mindset, you're doomed to failure. It's a process. And I believe that process needs to be started, and that's one of the things for my 5-year, 10-year plan is how do we get to where we're going to be next.
Mr. Brown, you're next. In examining the budget, how would you look at it? What would you cut? What would you add to it?
Like any budget in a municipality or in the county, you know, if you try to cut taxes, which everybody wants to pay lower taxes, but when you cut taxes, you also either have to do one of two things. You have to, you know, cut services. And when you cut services, then people are upset about that. So it's a fine line to work. I do agree with Mr. Cooper, there needs to be a long-term plan put in place on that. Also looking at the budget also, I believe there needs to be a long range, especially for the rural areas, a long range plan for the road system. You know, my understanding right now is on our roads, we just take care of what we need to take care of. I think we need to do a long-term plan like we did at Eyeball, so we can evaluate all the roads, set budgets aside to repair those roads. So if you're living on XYZ road, you'll know that in 2016, we're going to come repair your road, and we're going to try to stick to that. Yet still have money left aside to take care of emergencies and repairs. It's a tight race, guys, and as far as, you know, trying to match funds with services. So we just have to try to do the best we can. We have a very capable county court and a very capable judge that can help us try to do that, and your input is greatly appreciated on that also.
Mr. Cheshire, to you.
I don't think we would need to be cutting our county budget at this point in time. Our county roads have been deteriorating at a rapid rate. We've seen a progression over the last several years where they've gone from dirt to rock to oil, and now they're in a steady decline, going back from oil to rock and back to dirt. And this is costing us taxpayers lots of money. And I think we need to step up and increase our county budget to eliminate that process at this time.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you will start with the next question, and it is, tell us your philosophy about working with the federal and state government and its various agencies.
Well, you know, we need to try to get as much help as we can. You know, of course, anytime somebody talks about working with the federal or working with the state government, you're talking about, you know, taxes going up and stuff like that, but there's a lot of resources available for us to do different things on the road. If you look at the old Eyeball Highway where it's getting repaired right now, I mean, it's in bad shape right now, but it's going to be nice once they get finished with it. And then they'll have to be maintained, you know, by us. But, you know, any chance, any opportunity we get to have government funds, state funds available for us, we need to take that opportunity, whether it's through grants or whatever. So I think we need to take advantage of all the resources we possibly can.
Mr. Cheshire, how would you work with state and federal government and its agencies?
From my experience as a police officer, you have to work hand in hand with agencies that you would coincide with, coexist with. This would be essential to the citizens of Angelina County Precinct 4. you have to build those relationships, build the rapport, and work with your state legislators and federal legislators to try to obtain funds that are available and utilize them in a proper manner.
And you, Mr. Cooper.
Currently, Angelina County is entered in on several grants from both federal level and state level. We evaluate them on a case-by-case basis because sometimes you don't want to enter in on some of those grants. The strings attached are, well, burdensome, and we don't want to burden the county. Even though there's money out there, you don't want to get the money if there's a string that burdens us in the process. I've already developed a good working relationship with TxDOT. All the commissioners have, because we deal with them on a regular basis, our road interfaces, with our adult probation and those offices. We have to deal with the state level because that's part of the process, the legal process. So there's already a good working process. It goes back to the teamwork motif that I tried to present, is if you're working together, you can accomplish great things. If you're trying to go it alone, it's very, very difficult. So you have to work with them, but always keep in mind that as a commissioner, the county comes first, and the state comes second, and the feds come third. That's how I have to look at it, because I'm your elected representative. I represent you, and I am your voice, and I have to listen to you, and I have to represent you. And so that's the priority. And so that's what we've been doing, that's what we'll continue to do, and I'll continue to build those relationships, and of course, be observant at all times to make sure that we keep Angelina County safe.
Mr. Cheshire, we'll start with you on the next question, and it is, what major area of concern do you have with regard to the county, and how would you go about addressing that problem or concern?
There's several areas that concern me now. One is our airport. We could attract some major corporate investment in our county if we had a little better facilities. I think it needs to be modernized. Also, our dump is a very good resource that the citizens of Angelina County profit from, and we need to look at that area and invest evaluate it for equipment usage and see where we could improve it.
All right, and Mr. Cooper, what are your major concerns, and how would you go about addressing those?
Major concern, of course, as I stated, is our lack of long-term planning. And that's one of the goals I want to accomplish in my next term, is to try to get some direction, some goals, some plans, and some direction, basically. I agree with Mr. Cheshire that our Angelina County Airport is a great facility. It's an awesome facility. I'm a pilot myself, so I love going out there and associating with the pilots, but it does need to be improved and added on to and growing. It has a plan. We just need to make sure it continues on and move forward in that direction. Another lack of thing, which is endemic with all county government, is lack of communication. Because each department has its elected official, and they are day-to-day, have to do their day-to-day jobs. And sometimes we forget to get out and go visit the other departments. I try to visit the sheriff's department, I try to go over to the clerk's office, try to visit the other commissioners. But even with that, you get tied up in your job. So try to make sure that we start communicating more. That teamwork effort that starts at communication.
And you, Mr. Brown, what are your major areas of concern, and how would you address those concerns or problems?
Well, first of all, as a commissioner, I'd like to spend more time out in the community with the people, being able to go door to door, talking to them and finding out some of their concerns and stuff, and also be available, to answer their questions. If they call, I will return your call. If you ask me to come out, I tell you I'll come out, I will come out. So that's one thing I would like to see. Second is, it still is back into the road system in just some of the rural areas. You know, I had somebody ask me inside the city of Lufkin, as a commissioner, what do you do for us? You know, and I can tell them that, hey, you know, we preside over the budget for the different departments, you know, inside the county. But in the rural areas, people are really worried, you know, about their road systems and stuff. And that's why I'd like to do the long-term plan. That's one of my main goals, is do a long-term plan on the road systems, you know, in the Zavala area and in all the rural areas and stuff. And get on a program, you know, to where people know when things are going to be taken care of, and when they call in, we have a daily schedule that we can follow and take care of.
Okay, we're going to wrap up this group of candidates with the next question, and Mr. Cooper, you'll be first. Why should the voters of Angelina County support you rather than one of your opponents?
I'll go with why they should support me. I've spent 3 years working hard and diligently to try to improve Angelina County. I think I've accomplished some of those goals, but I still have a few things that need to be accomplished. It's when you come as a commissioner, you realize that it takes time to accomplish some things. I've accomplished a few in the short term, but there's still the improvement to the technologies in my road work. Mr. Brown did allude to that fact that we do have difficulties maintaining our roads because of the cost of the ever-increasing cost of equipment and materials. But with new equipment, you can use new materials, which gives you the ability to fix more road miles with the same dollars. And that's the process that I'm just about to embark on. I hope you'll give me the opportunity to finish that job that I was doing. And I've also had 3 years on the budget experience. There's no ramping up part. We already know where we're going. We've got the plan set to go. So I hope that my last 3 years and this coming year will be what you have needed it to be. And so I'm hoping that my job performance so far has put me a step above, and you'll wish to re-elect me as Commissioner Precinct 4.
I think, Mr. Brown, you're next. Why should the voters of Angelina County support you rather than one of your opponents?
Well, I feel I'm very qualified as far as the governmental experience, as far as budgeting, staying within budget, trying to keep taxes low. You can look back on the record at Diamond of how we've done. We try to keep as low as possible, so I have that experience. But the business side, I think, is the most important side. You know, trying to stay within your budgets, trying to stretch every dollar you can, trying to keep as much stuff. We have a lot of hard-working companies here that I think we need to try to keep as much stuff local as we can. And I would just like to see everyone prosper inside the county. The economic development, I think, is very important for our county too, to try to bring in as much as we can, you know, to try to help our economic growth. So anyway, I think I'm very well qualified, and I would sure appreciate your consideration when it comes to election time. Thank you very much.
And finally to you, Mr. Cheshire.
Thank you. I think my public service experience as a police officer taught me how to be a public servant, the difference between self-sacrifice and self-service. I think a public servant should be a servant to the people. My experience in restaurant management, dealing with other people's money with honor and integrity, and large volumes of money that we dealt with on a daily basis, managing the employees at that time. My business background in commercial trucking leads me the unique insight that the other candidates do not have. Being able to operate equipment and knowing when that equipment is in good shape, and knowing when an operator is doing a good job and when he's not. Most recently, my wife and I had an in-home daycare out of our home. We were licensed by the state and regulated by the government. So I understand what government regulation is. You know, when they have the option to walk into your house at any point in time without, notice, and look at your records to see if you're abiding by the law and providing the services you're supposed to be providing. those are unique qualities that I hold as a candidate, and I intend to implement those when elected.